Well, good evening, folks, and welcome back to the farm. We got a busy night ahead of us here. We got to move some sheep around. We got to move some cows around, and probably get the sprayer ready because the green stuff's taking over the driveway.
Do something.
Why do I need to do something?
Yeah.
What do you think I'm going to do tonight? I don't know. Well, if we don't do something, things get away on us. That's why. Okay, you want to help me out? Yeah? All right, let's go move some fence. So we got some portable electric netting fence over here by the little horse and the donkey. And that little horse, I tell you, you got to run it almost halfway to starvation, because if you don't, it gets like horse gout, gets foundered. So I got to pen back up, and I'm just gonna take down all that electric fence and move it over for the sheep so they can graze some of the stuff on the side of the yard there and do a little bit of yard cleanup. There's always a little bit of stuff over there, kind of on the other side of the barn actually, that we don't mow it. We just leave it for times such as this, when they get all the field kind of grazed down, and they can come in there and clean that up, and that works, right? You don't have to buy feed, but you do have to move fence. It's pretty easy to move fence, slightly inconvenient, but it's pretty easy to do. So we'll get it all taken down there, moved it over, and see about moving some sheep. Well, first things first, make sure we turn that thing off. Get this disconnected. I got two red clips on because I couldn't find my green clip. So, and then I just use a chunk of rebar for a ground rod for this. Now, of course, that's been in there all year, and well, half of it's buried below the grade.
Smell it.
What do you got there?
Flower.
A flower. Pretty. So I'll just get a little 24-inch pipe wrench and spin that out and up, and it'll pop right out of the ground. You know, it's funny, I see some guys on YouTube, like Justin Rhodes especially, probably because he moves his stuff every day, but he's literally got the dismantling, taking down, and setting up like completely figured out, and it works really, really well. I find I don't have long enough fingers to grab all of these stakes and carry it really, really easy. But do my best. Anyway, so we'll get it all moved over. This is just one length. I got one more I still got to take down. We'll put this one on the north side of the barn here. So this is the area here where we're going to set up. We've got lots of lush dandelion. There's quite a bit of grass. This is the round pen, but well, we haven't actually used the round pen this year, but it's here. So we might as well let them go in there and graze and clean it up. Then they can come around and clean up all over by the tack shed here. Well, I got all the fence wire moved over. Now I'm just going to try and take a little pipe wrench and a hammer and get that ground rod out. See how easy that comes out. Just like that. You see how it's buried 2 feet in there? Little pipe wrench, little rotation action. Slides right out. All right, new ground rod's in. I'll get her all hooked up here. We should be snappy. Whoa! We're snappy, all right. I pounded that ground rod in pretty far. I had to go about a foot deep until the clay softened up, so that kind of tells you why the grass is struggling so hard. I don't think this little grass here has foot-long roots to reach quite that deep, but that's a good thing about putting a nice deep ground in there is the wire is spicy. So we'll go ahead and let the lambs in here. They've never experienced this stuff, so there might be some Olympic high jumping happening here till they figure it all out. But it'll be good for them to get all this all cleaned up in here. Helps me, helps them. It's kind of a win-win. Definitely want to clean up all these weeds in here anyways. It's funny, they actually don't seem interested at all. I'm gonna have to go for a walk to convince them. Come on, lambs. Go towards the barn. You won't regret it. There's treats there, I promise. There's no mint sauce over there. This is not a drill. Come on. You too. Yeah, you too. Go on. And one lonely chicken over there. The little chicken that thought she was a sheep. Living her best life. There's this grasshopper on the fence here, and I was wondering, why aren't you getting electrocuted? But your legs aren't quite long enough to reach the ground. Such a shame, because I'd love to see you get fried, buddy. Well, let's see if they're smart enough to see the open gate here. Maybe Super Chicken's gonna show them. You show them where the gate is, chicken. Oh yeah, there we go. Look at that. Let's get a couple in there. The rest will be inclined. Come on, sheeps. There you go. There. Just like that. Oh, slow down. Don't want anybody to hit that wire too hard. Oh, I'd say they'll clean that up quite nicely. Well, now that I got the lambs all taken care of, I was just in the barn and I was looking at the meat chickens, and they're due for a bit of water. And that reminded me, yesterday, Carmen said she shut the water off for the horses because it was unlevel and spilling off the backside. So I got some scrap wood chunks here. I'm gonna find, maybe this will do right here. Chunk of 1x6 and prop up the back end a little bit. Hopefully that levels it off and we don't have a river running down the hillside and wasting a bunch of water. Now, of course, this was just turned off yesterday, so you can see they still got lots of water. They haven't run out or anything like that, but it's running off the backside here and hitting that pallet, and then of course it just, and away it goes down the hill. So I'm going to try and jam this board underneath the pallet, try and level everything up. I'd be interested to hear from the folks at home what they do with their water troughs. You can see it kind of gets, well, I mean, grasshoppers is one thing, but it gets a little scuzzy in the bottom there. So I've heard of folks putting a spool of copper wire in there. I've heard of goldfish. I've heard, a couple different ideas, but I don't know. What do you do on your farm to keep your livestock waters clean? What works, what doesn't work? I'd love to hear. Just leave me a comment below and maybe we'll try something out here. So just having a look at the fat chicks here. Everybody's doing good. They're just starting to feather out here now. Still got quite a bit of fuzz on them yet, so they'll probably be, I'm thinking, well, 10 days. We could probably start getting them out during the daytime if we wanted to. Get them out on some grass. But that might be a bit of a hassle to get them in and out, out during the day and in during the night. So I think what I might start doing is actually just bring them a couple handfuls of grass and just let them graze right here. Then nobody's got to move, nobody's got to get stressed. Nobody gets forgotten outside overnight. I won't get too complicated. I'll just handful of salad. We'll start there. There you go, babies. So we'll come back tomorrow, check and see if they've eaten their little snack there, and maybe I'll give them 2 handfuls the next day. Well, we're down here in the center of the farm here now, and it's been a couple weeks. The cows they've had the run of these couple pastures over here, and it's time to turn them loose into this one over here. It's been resting, well, all summer so far. They did have one little run through there for about 2 days, and then they got kicked out while we went on holiday, so they're over there now. But time to let them back into here. They can trample a bunch of this stuff down, they can graze a bunch. And this was actually supposed to be hayfield, but when you don't get rain, things don't tend to grow. So sometimes the best thing you can do is just turn the cows loose in it and have them trample it down and spread a little bit of manure and hope for the best next year. It is a good sign though, because they're coming. They're willing to come, but they're not, they're not way out there grazing on something else and not interested at all in moving. But at the same time, they're not standing here at the gate putting pressure on the fence. So nobody's starving. So it's a good time to move them, I think. Come on, girls. Come on. Come on, cows. Having a look over here at the big pie-shaped piece where the ewes are at, and it's looking like they definitely got all the top snipped off. Oh, hello, ladies. So I'll give them another couple days, and they can move back over to the dugout piece there. Oh, you're all looking well. Actually, you know what? To hell with it. I drove all the way down here. It takes me 5 minutes, not even 5 seconds to open that gate. There's lots of grass and stuff they can eat in there. I'll just turn them loose into here. Well, that's cows all moved. It's funny because, you know, I would say pound for pound, there was more protein moving out of their way as the cows moved into the field because there's so many grasshoppers. It was like Moses parting the Red Sea. But anyways, they're in there now. They get that all licked up. And I think it's time for me to head in the house and fix up a cup of tea. So I'll let you go for now. I hope you have a fantastic evening. And see you tomorrow.